Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi and today we're taking a look at the new DIOR Lip Maximizers. Now these technically have a January 2023 release date, so if you don't see these available yet in your country, they should be coming soon. And they are currently available in the US on the DIOR website as well as Sephora online only at this time. And the DIOR website does have additional shades that are not available on Sephora. So they don't technically say that they are exclusive, so I'm not sure whether those will later be coming to another retailer, but most likely they're going to stay exclusive to the DIOR website. And you can see the new one compared to the previous version. You can see the previous version, you have DIOR written down here, just kind of still in that plastic. And then it has the lip maximizer written here on the other side, whereas the new version is going to have the DIOR kind of a side, kind of on the angle here. So we have 4 different finishes essentially in these new glosses. We actually have 22 new shades that have joined the original range in the DIOR Maximizers. So there are actually 31 shades available on the DIOR website. I purchased mine from the DIOR website, so we're going to be taking a look at some of the exclusive shades as well. So let's start off with arm swatches, and we're going to kind of go in the order of the finishes. So I've got everything grouped numerically by finish. So first up, we have a new holographic finish. Now it's not exactly new because they have released some holographic shades in the past, but now it is officially a finish in the DIOR Maximizer. So here you can see what you get with one swipe of the wand. I went back and forth so you can kind of see it built up, and then you can see the tail, how sheer you can get with this. So this one here is shade number 3, which is the Holographic Lavender shade. And it's really beautiful, but it is going to be pretty subtle. You're just going to get a little bit of a color shift when the light hits it a certain way. Next up, we have their classic finish. This is now known either as the clear finish or the shine finish. And we have shade number 6, Berry. Now, one thing that's interesting, you can see how intense this is. There is technically an intense finish with DIOR, but this is not part of that. I do think perhaps that might change in the future because it is one of the more intense shades. You can see how deep you can get this. This is also the color I have on my lips right now. And if you want to make it sheer, you can see if you kind of spread that out, diffuse it a little bit more, you can definitely get that to be a bit more sheer. Next, we have 7, Raspberry. And again, this one is also in the clear or shine finish, but it is going to be a bit more intense than some of the others in there. And I think it's a really beautiful pink. Notice the difference here. The berry shade is going to be a bit more, it has a bit more of a purple berry in there. It's kind of more like a cross of if you crush a blueberry and mix it with a raspberry. And this one here is a little bit more of a strawberry pink, but it leans a little bit cooler than your typical strawberry pink. Next, this is number 12, Rosewood. And I love this shade. This is like a classic everyday shade. You can see that it is going to be a soft rosewood shade. I think it is named appropriately. This one here is 13, Beige. And this is a really beautiful, soft, milky nude. So it's not going to give a huge amount of color or pigmentation to the lips, but it kind of gives your lips a little bit of that milk glass vibe. It just makes them a little bit, there's a little bit of that whitish milky glass kind of look to it, but it's going to be pretty sheer. This one here is 20, Mahogany, and we are still in the clear shine family here, but you can see this one's going to be a bit more intense as well. And it's really beautiful. It was hard to tell online what this one looked like. Online, it looks a bit more like one of those black and berry lips, but this is really going to be more of a reddish brown. So you've got a bit of chocolate mixed with just the faintest hint of red in there. And I think it's a really beautiful, and it's actually a very, very versatile shade. And 38, Rose Nude. This is another really great, like light everyday shade. You can compare this with the Rosewood, and you can see that this one here is going to be just slightly deeper, and it's a little bit warmer. There's actually a little bit more of a warmer brown tone in here, and it's going to be a really beautiful kind of everyday shade. Slightly warmer again than Rosewood, but I think they're pretty close on the lips. Next, we're moving into the Shimmer family, and this one here is number 14, Shimmer Macadamia. And you can see this is just going to be a really soft, beautiful neutral. If you compare this to the Rosewood shade here, as well as the Rose Nude, you can see that this is going to be a little bit cooler in tone than both of them. And it's just going to be kind of, the intensity is kind of right in between the two. So very, very close. And the shimmer on these is very, very subtle. So, I mean, you can see there's not, you don't really notice like any glitter or anything. It's a very subtle shimmer. This one is 21, Shimmer Tangerine. You can see there's a little bit more shimmer in this one than there was in the Shimmer Macadamia, but this one's actually going to be a bit more sheer. On the lips, you really don't see a lot of orange color with this, but it is a really nice pumpkin orange. It's going to give you just the slightest accent. And I think if you are trying to make a lipstick or something a little bit more orange, this might help it lean that way a little bit more. And this one here is 30, Shimmer Rose. And this is the last of the shimmers that I purchased. You can see that this is going to be more of that warm tone pink, you know, kind of like that classic carnation pink in the Crayola box. So again, the shimmer on this one is going to be very subtle. I mean, look at the tube. Can't, unless you look closely, you don't really see the shimmer. So out of the 3 shimmers I purchased, the Tangerine definitely has the most, but again, it's really just the shimmer in these is just going to give you a little extra light reflection, but you're not going to see glitter on your lips. This one is 18, Intense Spice. So this is one of the new finishes. Intense is the finish. And you can see that this is going to be a bit more opaque. And that's the difference with the Intense versus these deeper shades here. Kind of your intensity here is going to be deeper with like berry and raspberry here. But these Intense family shades are actually going to be more opaque. You can see where you kind of shear that out compared to these. These will go a little bit more translucent than those in the Intense family. But honestly, they're very, very close. So you can see this is going to be a little bit more of a reddish brown. It's kind of like a cinnamon shade. Really beautiful. It's got a little bit more red than a true cinnamon, but I think it's a really gorgeous shade. And then last up, we have 26, Intense Mauve. And this is one of my favorites. This is just a really beautiful kind of like mauvey rose shade here. You've got just the faintest hint of purple in there, but it's really going to be more of your medium mid-tone rose with just the faintest hint of purple. And so that one will lean cool, and it's really beautiful. See, these are the finishes of the new ones I picked up. Now, I also wanted to swatch this one here in the original or previous formula. This one here was limited edition. It's called Opal, and they now have a new one called Opal. So I just wanted to, I'm pretty sure the colors are going to be the same, but you can see this one's going to have a little bit more of a holographic flip. You're going basically clear to pink, and you can see like the faintest hint of like a little bit of a bluish green shade in there. So this one's Opal. This is the Holographic Lavender, which is going to be a bit more of that pinky purple with a blue. And I think they're both really beautiful colors. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about the new formula, how it compares to the previous one, while we look at some lip swatches here. According to DIOR, this is the iconic DIOR lip gloss, and it provides genuine hydrating and plumping lip care, delivers a maximum volume effect. Now the formula is infused with cherry oil and hyaluronic acid spheres, so you really do want to kind of burst those spheres to, provide maximum comfort and moisture to your lips by pressing them together during application. That's also going to help, kind of promote the plumping effects that you can get. Now, usually plumping lip glosses are provided by some sort of like mint or cinnamon extract. And essentially what happens is it's going to kind of irritate your lips a little bit in order to provide that plumping effect. And in this case, we do have mint. There's a faint minty scent. It's not that faint, but it's not as overpowering as you might notice in some plumping lip products. Now, compared to the original, I do find that the original mint is a little bit more intense than this one. I've been wearing these for about a week now and testing them out. So if your lips are really chapped, you're going to really notice that minty texture, that feeling. There's going to be a little bit of that stinging, burning sensation. If your lips are in good condition, it's going to be really mild. You might not really notice it too much. As a matter of fact, I didn't even like notice the first time I put it on the minty effects for the first 2 or 3 minutes. It took that long to kind of really activate. And the ingredients in these lip glosses also have 90% natural origin ingredients. So it doesn't mean they're natural ingredients. It means that they were originated from natural ingredients. They may have been modified. And these lip glosses are supposed to allow your lips to stay hydrated for 24 hours. And they are enhanced with a mirror-like shine. Lips are visibly smooth and appear fuller. That's according to DIOR. And we do have a mix of bold and natural colors in here with the 4 finishes that we talked about during the arm swatches. Intense, which is going to be a bit more opaque. And then we have the holographic, the shimmering, and the clear or shine formula, which is also their classic line. Now, one thing that I found interesting about these is you can actually use these lip glosses as a lip primer as well. So if you want to have a little bit of a tacky sensation on your lips to allow for something else to adhere to it a little bit more strongly, you can apply a thin layer of the gloss and then use a cloth to kind of blot that off. So you're just left with a thin film, and it will act as a lip primer and give you some of those plumping benefits. Now, again, if you want to see the lip plumping benefits, you're really going to see them, more so like 5 minutes or so after you apply it. So give it a little time. We do have a foam applicator on this wand. Nothing really seems all that different or unique about this applicator. As for the texture of these lip maximizers, texturally they feel very similar to the previous version. However, I do find them to be ever so slightly less tacky than the previous version. So they're both going to be kind of smooth, and you have kind of this like gel-like texture that goes on the lips with a little bit of tackiness to kind of make it stay put. But I notice a bit more of that tackiness in the previous version than I do with this. This is, if my hair actually goes in this, yeah, I have to pull it away a little bit, like you would with any product that I could get into, but it's not going to keep attracting the hairs. It's not like super sticky. I don't feel any like actual issues smacking my lips together or anything like that. So it's not a sticky gloss, but it's going to be stickier than some. Now, you do want to have a little bit of tackiness in the gloss, because if this gloss were a little bit oilier and you really didn't feel any tackiness at all, then you would end up with the issue of, a little bit more bleeding outside the lip lines and smearing and so forth. That slight tackiness to this texture really helps it stay put. You can definitely use this with a lip liner, but it's not necessary. Even with these more intense colors, I can wear these all day without them migrating outside of the lip lines, and I think they hold up really well. So, longevity is going to be your traditional gloss longevity, so nothing different or unique there. I give a gloss about 2 to 3 hours or so. But again, your lip plumping benefits will last longer than that. You'll still feel a little bit, perhaps of that minty sensation if you really, focus on that. So yes, it will kind of last. And, even if your actual gloss and your color needs to be retouched and you want to switch to something else, you will still have a little bit of that plumping effect that remains for a while. So of course, DIOR took the opportunity with this reformulation to increase the prices. So the lip maximizers are now $40 US. They are going to be an expensive lip gloss, and some of the shades can look very similar on the lips. So you definitely want to kind of take a look at that before purchasing. But one of the great things about purchasing a lip gloss online is that for the most part, they're giving a hint of color. So, you really can't go too wrong with most lip glosses. Now with these, we do have some more intense shades where those can be a little bit, obviously they're going to be a bit more prominent on the lips, so it's easier to go wrong with those. But if you're looking at some of the lighter glosses more as like lipstick toppers and so forth, it's pretty hard to go wrong with those shades. So I personally really like these new lip maximizers. I think they did a great job expanding the color range. They have a mix of different tones. You know, you've got the cool, neutral, and warm in different shades and intensities. And I like all of the different finishes. I really love how they have included some deeper shades in here as well. Something a little bit more prominent on the lips. And I have to say, I'm really enjoying these. So my personal favorite shades would be number 3, the Holographic Lavender. I love the number 6, Berry. 13, Beige, that milky glaze on the lips. 20, Mahogany. I really love 14, the Shimmer Macadamia. And then the 2 intense shades I picked up, which are number 18, Intense Spice, and 26, Intense Mauve. Those would be, you know, my personal favorites out of the ones I picked up, but I'm really happy with all of these shades. I don't think there was a dud in the bunch, and they all, you know, do a really nice job. And you can see, you know, now that I've had the gloss on my lips for a while, you can see how much, you know, plumping there is. Let me go ahead and come a little bit closer. I mean, look at that plumping effect. It really does give you quite a bit of plumping to the lips. I actually do think that although the minty effect seems a bit stronger in the original, I do notice a bit more of that plumping effect on these. Now, one little thing to note, if you are somebody who's really looking for maximum lip plumping, then you definitely want to, you know, kind of put on the gloss, wipe it off, then put it on again, because if your lips are already a little more irritated or more chapped, you're going to see a stronger plumping or volumizing effect than you would if they have not had any sort of trauma to them. So definitely something to note if you're really looking to kind of maximize that plumping. Just take a cloth, you know, like I use microfiber cloth, get it wet and just wipe your lips or something a little bit, exfoliate them. That's going to help everything kind of plump them up a little bit more. So I hope this was helpful. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on these, if you tried any of these or you're interested in them, and let me know which ones your favorite shades are. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video with anyone you think this might help, and I'll see you very soon. Have a great day.